Hi, and welcome back to our new section here, lists. We start here with this question, what is lists? We start here with defining a list. A list is a collection of multiple of any type of data in a single variable, and that means we could have a sequence of any data type inside a list. When we want to create a list, we use two brackets. A list can be nested inside another list, and we call this type of list nested list. List is very flexible data type in Python. With this flexibility, we mean that the value inside the list could be added, changed, or removed. So lists in Python is not immutable. Variable lecture, we talked about if we have one variable and it has one value, like for example 10. If this variable has too many values. So what we can do here is like make two brackets here, and we put the value inside the bracket here. We take he has value as 10, he has as 11, he has a 1.0 floating point, or let's make it 1.1, and it has another value, it's like string. Let's make it, he has value like hello, like that. So this variable has too many value. I don't want this value to be flexible. I want to add, to change, to delete. That's why I make like a list, not a tuple. I will talk about the tuple later in this course here. So here, as you can see here, we have two brackets here. This one here at the beginning and this last one at the end of this variable here. And you can see we separate the value with comma, like that here, in here, like between 10 and 11 and 1.1. That's how I like to separate the value inside the two bracket or inside our list. So let's hit run now. We hit print and we print C. We got here the list and the output here. But let's see if we write here, write print type C. Let's see which type it has it. It has a class list. That means we have our new data type here, list. So let's see if we have very long list. I make this list a little bit longer. We have 19.0, we have 11, we have 233, we have 3 here. How to know the length of the list? It's very easy here in Python. We just write print len C. Now, after we do this here, this operation here, we'll print the length of C here. And now, when we hit run, we will get 8. So that means the list has 8 elements. So let's see if it's true. We have the first one 10, second 11, and the third one 1.1, and hello at the fourth, fifth 19, sixth like 11, the seventh is like 233, and the last one 3. So it's right, we have 8 elements. And you can see here we can have the same value for the variable C 2 times or more than 2 times as well. Like we can make the list here with 11 again and again and again. And now when we hit print, now we got the list like without no error here. That means the variable could have like the same value multiple times, or the same item as well, like multiple times. Items inside the list has different indexes and order. So this item here has different index than this item here, and has different index than this item here as well. So every single item has different index inside this list here. And at the same way, when we have different index, that means we have an order inside the list. So let's see now how we can access these different indexes. First of all, if we want to access the first one, we make here C, and we write 2 bracket here, and we write 0. The first index in Python is 0. So if we want to access the second one, we write 1, because the second is number 1. Because we start with 0, that's why the second one will be number 1. So let's hit print to see the result here. We hit print, we got 11 here. That means we accessed the second index inside this list here, it was number 11. And let's access the last one, number 8. When we write here C8, we access the last element inside the list here. We hit run, we got 11. Let's make it something else, it's like will be really weird. Let's make it 15. And now we hit run here, we still got 8. 11 because like the 8th one, we got like much more than 8 elements. We hit run, we got 15 here. So we have right now the 8 element number 8 is 15. I get the length, let's see the length of the list. I add like much more, len c, and now we hit run, we have 11 elements, that's why. So let's add the last one here, number 11, and let's make it 20. And we hit run here, out of range, because the index should be number 10. The last element is number 10, not 11, because we start with 0. So now we hit run, we got 20. So always remember that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like that inside the Python. It's like really different from the real world. So just keep that in your mind and remember it. Let's see now how you could access more than one element at the same time inside a list. If you want to access like the first one and the second one only, like only these two here at the same time. So what we can do here, we write here 0 and we write 2 colon and number 2, because we want from 0 to number 1. So that's why we write like from the index 0 to index 2. From 2, not including the number 2 element. So now when we hit run, we got 10 and 11. If you want to add the second element and the third one, we write here 1 and 3. We hit run, we got 11 and 1.1. And if you want like to access from the second one to the last one only, not including the index 0, we hit here 1 and 2 colon only. We don't write anything else. And now we hit run here, we got 11, 1.1, we got the whole list without the first element. If you want to see the whole list as well, we write here 2 bracket and this 2 colon. So we write here, we got the whole list. And there is like something weird here. If you want to access the whole list but not the last element, so we write here -1 and we hit run. So right now we have all the list but not the last element. When we write here -1, that means the last element. So if you print like the last one, let's print -1 here. So we got the last element here, now -20. If we write like -2, like that, we got the second last element, number 11. If we hit here like -3, so you catch the idea here, that when we have a minus and a number, we go on reverse. Let's see how we can get the last element inside our list here. Our last element is -11. We hit run, so we got here 10. That's our first element. So if we want to access like the first and not including the 2 last ones, so we write here from 1 to -2 and we hit run. So we got the whole list but not including the 2 last ones here. So as you can see, we got from 11 to 15. Or if you want the whole list not including the last 2, we do like that. We have the whole list but not including the last 2 ones. So that's how to access the different element inside the list. So let's see here if you want to add a new element inside the list. So we can write here C point append like that, and we write 2 parentheses here. Inside these 2 parentheses we write our new element. It could be integer, it could be floating point, it could be string. Here I will make like new string. I will call it new element. Like that, element. And let's see here. Let's print only C. And we hit run here. So we got here our new element here at the end of the list. But what if you want to insert a new element at the beginning of the list? So it's easy. We write here C point insert like that, and 2 parentheses as well. The first element inside these 2 parentheses, it will be the index number. So if I want something at the first place or at the index 0, I will write here 0 and I will write a new element at index 0 like that. And now I hit run, So we got here our new element at the index 0. So if I wanted, like, for example, at the index number 3, so we write here at the index 3. And now I hit run. So we got here our new element at the index 3. So let's try it last time. And we want to add it at, let's see, at the index number 10. And now we hit run. So it's now at the index 10. Let's change it here, index 10. So let's say you want to see how many times one element have been repeated. For example, in our list, we have 11 repeated multiple times. 3 times. So let's see how many times 11 it repeated inside our list here. We write here C point count. And inside the count, we write number 11. So here what Python do? It will see how many times 11 has been repeated. So let's here print C count 11. And let's make it like that. And now we hit run. So we got 3 times. So we have 3 11 inside the list. Let's see how many times 10 repeated. We hit run here only 1 time. And if I make like here a new element, let's make it 10 here. And now we counted. Now we have 2 10s. So we have 3 11 and 2 10s. I have like we have 2 10s. Let's delete what we inserted. We write here delete C. And here we write the index that we want to delete it. I want to delete like the first index. Now we hit run. So we deleted our first element or our first 10 here. Let's see how it looks like after we delete it. Print C. Now we hit run. So we saw that our first element is like 11, not 10. And that at index 0. So let's see here. Let's get rid of this one here. And let's see new thing now. So we don't want to delete like number 10, but we want to change it to another value. So we can write here C0 or the index 0. I want to change it to, let's make it, I want it instead for 10, I wanted to change it to 7. Now I hit run. So we got here instead for 10, we got number 7. So I can change here the second element or the index number 1. So we write here number 1 is equal to 7. And I hit run. So you can see here the index number 1 change it to number 7. So we had before like 11, now it's 7. So let's delete everything here and begin with a new list here. This list is equal to, let's make it 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's make here some variable that will take value from C. Let's make here A, B, C, and D. And they are equal to C. And let's print here first A, and we hit run here. So we can see here A is equal to 1. Let's make print here B as well. We hit run here. We got B equal to 2. Let's make A, B, C, and D. Printed them all at the same time. We hit run here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see here A equal to the first element, B equal to the second one, and C equal to the third, and 4 equal to the fourth. But let's say if we had only A, B, C. Let's see what will happen here. We hit run here. So we got expected 3. So because like you always should have the same number variable as the element inside the list. So we make here D and here D as well. And now we hit print again. So we got it right. So you should always have the same number variable as the element inside the list. Not less, not more. The same number. So let's see something new here. Let's delete all this here. And now we can check. Let's write here print. Let's check if we have number 1 inside the list C. And now we hit run. We got true. Let's check if we have number 5 inside our list C. We hit run. We got here false. So we don't have any number 5. Let's check if we have a string inside our list. We write here hello. And now we hit run. So we got, Oh, I forgot to make it like that. Now we hit run. We got false. We don't have the string hello inside our list. But let's make it that we have it here. We write here hello inside our list. And now we hit run. So now we got true here. So in this way here you can check if we have an element inside your list. Like let's say you have very big list and you have very big code. So this one's very handy if you want to check this inside your list. So now let's see something new as well. Let's make a new list. We make this list equal to d, and this has variable 2, 4 and 5 like that. So now let's add c to the d. We write here print c plus d, and now we hit run. So we got all the element inside the c plus the element inside the d. So we got here a new list here. Let's make here v equal to c plus d, and let's print here only v, and we hit run. So we got here our new list v equal to the element inside the list c plus the element inside the list d. So we got longer list here. We don't add like the indexes together, but we add the two lists together in this way here. Let's make a new list again. This list is f, and this list has a list inside the list. So we have 1, 2, and we have list again 1, 2 and 3, and let's add f to v. We hit run here. So we forgot the comma here like that. Now we hit run. So we got here the 3 lists together, and the last list is like list inside the list. So let's see how we can enter the list inside our list f here. We write here f, and let's see the index number 3. What we will get? We hit run, we get nothing because it's nested list. So the last element in this list here is number 2. We hit run, so we get our nested list inside our list. The list inside the list. And if you want to access like the number 3 inside the list here, we write f2, and we make another brackets, and we write number 2 again, and we hit run. We got number 3 here. So here we got the list, or we got the element inside our f list inside the nested list inside the f list. So it's really very difficult concept to have, but that's how it's work. And if you want to have the first element number 1, we got here number 1 here. So that's how the nested list inside the list, and that's how the lists work. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'm sorry for making it very long.